Ask anyone to name the fastest animal alive, and almost everyone gives the same answer: the cheetah. And almost everyone is wrong. Ask which animal lives the longest, and you will hear tortoise. The real answer has been alive since before Shakespeare wrote a word. Ask what jumps highest, and someone will say kangaroo. The champion is smaller than your fingernail and beats it by every measure. The obvious answers are not wrong exactly. They are just incomplete. They describe records held only on land or only among mammals. So, for every category tonight, we do this twice. First, the animal you expect. Then, the one that actually holds the record. Welcome to Curious Depth World. We start with the record everyone thinks they already know, the fastest. And we begin exactly where you expect, with the animal on every schoolbook page, the cheetah. 104 kilometers per hour, reached in roughly 3 seconds. That puts it barely half a second behind a Formula One car. Its spine works like a compressed spring. At full stride, all 4 feet leave the ground twice in every single cycle. Semi-retractable claws grip like running spikes. A long tail counterbalances, turns so sharp that almost no prey animal can match them. But the cheetah pays a brutal price. It can hold that pace for under 30 seconds before its body temperature becomes dangerous. So the cheetah's title is real but narrow. It is the fastest animal on land. And on land is doing enormous work in that sentence. Because if we open the question to the entire animal kingdom, the cheetah is not even close. It is beaten almost fourfold. The true record holder weighs barely 1 kilogram and could sit comfortably on your forearm. It is the peregrine falcon. In level flight, it is quick but unremarkable. Its record comes from something else entirely. A controlled, deliberate fall called the stoop. The falcon climbs above 1,000 meters, folds its wings into a teardrop and drops. 389 kilometers per hour. At that speed, air pressure alone could rupture its lungs. Small bony cones inside its nostrils redirect the airflow, letting it breathe. A third transparent eyelid sweeps across each eye every few seconds, clearing debris without ever breaking visual lock on the target. The impact kills instantly. A duck struck at full speed is dead before it registers that anything approached from above at all. But even that is only the record for open air. Water is 800 times denser, and it has a champion of its own. The black marlin has been clocked at 129 kilometers per hour. Its body is essentially a rigid, muscular javelin. The bill splits the water ahead of it, while a stiff crescent tail beats hard enough to launch the entire fish airborne. Though some biologists dispute the figure, arguing it was measured from a fishing reel rather than the fish, that debate is still open. And there is one final way to measure speed, not in kilometers per hour, but in body lengths. That changes the winner completely. The Australian tiger beetle covers 170 body lengths every second, scaled to human size, over 2,000 kilometers per hour. It runs so fast, its eyes cannot gather light. So it sprints, stops, recalibrates and sprints again. The largest. And again we begin with the answer almost everyone gives you. The African bush elephant, giant of the savannah. Up to 7 tons of muscle and bone, 4 meters at the shoulder, with a trunk containing roughly 40,000 separate muscles. It eats 150 kilograms of vegetation daily and drinks 200 liters of water. Simply existing is a full-time occupation. Its size is not decoration either. an adult elephant has effectively no predators. Nothing on the savannah is equipped to bring one down. It is, without question, the largest land animal alive on Earth today. And once again, that phrase land animal is carrying enormous weight. Because move into the ocean and the elephant stops being impressive. It becomes something you could lose inside a larger animal's mouth. The blue whale reaches 30 meters in length and 150 tons in weight. That is roughly 25 African elephants. Its tongue alone weighs as much as one full-grown elephant. Its heart weighs 180 kilograms and beats twice per minute. A newborn calf is already 7 meters long and gains 90 kilograms every single day, drinking several hundred liters of milk. Here is the part that surprises people most. The blue whale is not just the largest animal alive. It is the largest that has ever lived. Larger than any dinosaur ever confirmed. Argentinosaurus, the heaviest known, is estimated at 90 tons. The blue whale exceeds it comfortably. Water is the reason. On land, bones must fight gravity. In the ocean, the water carries the weight and size becomes almost free. Its call travels for hundreds of kilometers through open ocean, at frequencies too low for human ears to detect without instruments. And yet, almost nobody has seen one properly. Fewer than 25,000 remain, scattered across an ocean that hides them easily. The largest fish is a different creature entirely. The whale shark reaches 18 meters and filters plankton through a mouth over a meter wide. The largest reptile is the saltwater crocodile, 7 meters, a ton in weight, and a body plan essentially unchanged for millions of years. The largest invertebrate lives in Antarctic darkness. The colossal squid, 14 meters long, with eyes the size of dinner plates. Those eyes measure 27 centimeters across, the largest eyes ever measured on any animal, built to detect faint light at extreme depth. But if we drop the word animal entirely, the record collapses again. In Oregon, a single honey fungus covers 9 square kilometers. One organism, one connected body, roughly 2,500 years old. Largest, it turns out, depends entirely on where you draw the line. The smallest. The expected answer here is the bee hummingbird, and for once the expected answer is genuinely remarkable. 5 centimeters from beak to tail, under 2 grams, lighter than a single coin, and smaller than many of the butterflies around it. Its wings beat 80 times per second. Its heart runs at more than 1,000 beats per minute while it is flying. It visits around 1,500 flowers every day. If it stops feeding for more than a few hours, it will simply starve. Its nest is the size of a coin. Its eggs are smaller than a coffee bean, weighing barely half a gram. So it is the smallest bird alive. But among all animals with a backbone, it is not even close to the smallest. That title belongs to a frog found in the leaf litter of Papua New Guinea and described in 2012, Pedophrine amoensis. It measures 7.7 millimeters. An adult sits comfortably on a human fingernail with room to spare on every side. Researchers found it by sound, not by sight. They heard a high insect-like chirping in the leaf litter and could not locate the source. They eventually scooped up handfuls of leaves, poured them into a bag, and searched until something almost invisible finally hopped. At that size, the rules change. It has no eardrum in the usual sense, and it absorbs a share of its oxygen directly through skin. and it skips the tadpole stage entirely. There is no room for one. It hatches as a fully formed miniature frog. Among mammals, two contenders share the crown. The Etruscan shrew weighs 1.8 grams. The bumblebee bat is barely shorter. The shrew's heart beats 1,500 times per minute. It must eat twice its own body weight every single day. But the true minimum belongs to the insects. The fairy wasp, Dicapomorpha ecmepterygus, measures 139 micrometers in length. That is smaller than a single-celled amoeba, a complete insect with a nervous system and functioning organs smaller than one cell, the slowest. And the expected answer is one of the most famous animals on the internet, the three-toed sloth. It moves at 0.24 kilometers per hour. On the ground, it manages roughly 3 meters in a minute. Its slowness is a defense, not a defect. Predators like the harpy eagle hunt by detecting movement, and a sloth barely produces any. Its metabolism runs at roughly half the rate expected for its size. Digesting a single leaf can take up to 30 days. Algae grows in its fur, tinting it green. This provides camouflage and, in some cases, a supplementary source of nutrients as well. So the sloth is comfortably the slowest mammal. But there is something in the ocean that makes a sloth look positively energetic. The dwarf seahorse holds the official record for the slowest fish. Its top speed is 1.5 meters per hour. Not per second, per hour. In 60 minutes of continuous effort, it crosses a distance you could step across without trying. The problem is its shape. A seahorse is upright and rigid, propelled by one small dorsal fin beating 50 times a second. And yet, it is a devastating predator. Its slowness makes it invisible to prey, and its strike takes under 5 milliseconds. It captures small crustaceans with a success rate above 90%. Very few predators in the entire ocean hunt more efficiently. But if we allow animals that barely move at all, the numbers become absurd. Consider the deep sea corals and glass sponges. Some coral colonies grow less than 1 millimeter per year. Individual sponges in Antarctic water have been measured growing almost imperceptibly. They are animals. They simply operate on a timescale where a human lifetime registers as a brief and unremarkable interruption. The highest jumper. The expected answer hops across Australian deserts and is built almost entirely around this one ability. The red kangaroo clears nearly 3 meters vertically and covers up to 9 meters in a single horizontal bound across open ground. Its tendons work like loaded springs, storing and returning energy. The faster it travels, the less energy each hop actually costs. Above roughly 20 kilometers per hour, hopping becomes more efficient than running. No other large land animal has evolved this method. Snow leopards jump further horizontally, clearing gaps of 15 meters. Cats generally are the acrobats of the mammal world. But measure jumps the way we measured speed earlier against body size, and every mammal here drops out of contention immediately. The record holder is an insect 6 millimeters long that most people have walked past 1,000 times without noticing. The froghopper. It jumps 70 centimeters straight up. That is over 100 times its own body length from a standing start. Scaled to human proportions, that is a jump of roughly 200 meters. Straight up with no run and no equipment. The acceleration reaches 400 times gravity. A fighter pilot loses consciousness at 9. The froghopper does this routinely, unharmed. Its legs cannot generate that force directly. Instead, it locks them, builds tension in an internal catapult, then releases everything at once. For years, the flea held this title. Careful, high-speed filming eventually showed the froghopper beating it by a substantial margin. In water, the record belongs to copepods, tiny crustaceans that accelerate faster than almost anything else measured in the animal kingdom. The pattern by now should be familiar. The smaller the animal, the more absurd its numbers become when you scale them up. The highest flyer. Ask most people, and the answer is an eagle circling somewhere far above a mountain range. Golden eagles do hunt at altitude, regularly working ridgelines above 3,000 meters, riding thermal currents without beating their wings. Their eyesight is roughly 4 times sharper than a human's. They can identify a rabbit on open ground from 3 kilometers away. They dive at over 300 kilometers per hour, second only to the peregrine falcon we met at the start. But an eagle at 3,000 meters is nowhere near the ceiling for animal flight. That number can be more than tripled. And we know the exact figure because of an accident. In 1973, a commercial aircraft over Ivory Coast struck a bird. The collision happened at 11,300 meters. The remains recovered from the engine were identified as a Ruppel's Griffon vulture. That is higher than most commercial airliners cruise. At that altitude, oxygen is roughly 10% of what it is at sea level. The vulture survives through a specialized hemoglobin variant that binds oxygen far more aggressively than any human blood cell ever could. Temperatures up there fall below -50 degrees. The bird was not lost or disoriented. It flies at that altitude deliberately. The reason is simple and practical. From 11 kilometers up, a single bird can scan several thousand square kilometers for carrion. Bar-headed geese cross the Himalayas twice a year, verified above 7,000 meters, over terrain with no oxygen and no shelter. And for endurance, nothing matches the bar-tailed godwit. In 2022, one bird flew from Alaska to Tasmania without landing once. 13,500 kilometers. 11 days of continuous flight. No food, no water, no sleep as we understand it. The deepest diver. The expected answer here is the sperm whale, and this time the expected answer is genuinely extraordinary. It descends beyond 2,000 meters, hunting giant squid in absolute darkness, guided entirely by sound where vision is useless. Its head contains the largest brain on Earth and an organ producing clicks louder than any other biological sound ever recorded. 230 decibels. Loud enough at close range to be physically dangerous to a human diver in the water. Before diving, it collapses its lungs deliberately. Its ribcage folds inward. It stores oxygen in muscle tissue instead of air. Its heart rate drops to a few beats per minute. Blood is redirected away from everything except the heart and brain. And yet, it is not the record holder. That belongs to a whale most people have never heard of and almost nobody has seen. The Cuvier's beaked whale. In 2014, a tagged individual was recorded at 2,992 meters. Nearly 3 kilometers beneath the surface. The pressure there is close to 300 times what you feel standing on a beach. 6 years later, another individual was recorded holding its breath for 3 hours and 42 minutes on a single dive. Researchers have predicted its physiological limit at around 33 minutes. The animal exceeded that prediction by a factor of 6. We still do not fully understand how. Among birds, the emperor penguin holds the record. 564 meters on a dive lasting over 30 minutes. Its bones are solid rather than hollow, unusual for a bird, which reduces buoyancy. But the true depth records belong to fish. In 2023, a snailfish was filmed at 8,336 meters. That was in the Izu Ogasawara Trench off Japan, and it remains the deepest any fish has ever been observed alive. Below roughly 8,500 meters, fish physiology appears to fail entirely. Their proteins can no longer hold shape under pressure. So the deep ocean has a flaw for vertebrate life, not a physical flaw, a chemical one written into the molecules themselves. The longest lived, and the expected answer is the giant tortoise, which for once comes with a name and a birthday. Jonathan, a Seychelles giant tortoise living on the island of St. Helena, is estimated to have hatched in or around 1832. He was already fully grown when the telephone was invented. He is the oldest known living land animal on Earth. Tortoises achieve this through extremely slow metabolism, low body temperature, and cells that appear resistant to the usual damage of aging. Some species show almost no measurable decline with age. Their risk of dying does not increase the way ours does. But nearly 2 centuries, impressive as it is, does not come close to the actual record. That belongs in the cold ocean. In 2016, researchers dated Greenland sharks using proteins in the lens of the eye, which form before birth and never change. The results were extraordinary. The oldest individual tested was estimated at between 272 and 512 years. The central estimate was 392. That animal was swimming while Shakespeare was still writing plays in London. It grows about 1 centimeter per year and does not reach sexual maturity until roughly 150 years old. It lives in near-freezing Arctic water, moving at under 1 kilometer per hour in permanent darkness beneath the ice. But an animal without a spine beats even that. A clam named Ming, dredged from Icelandic waters, was 507 years old. Its age was read from growth rings in its shell, the same way you would read the rings inside a felled tree. And one creature avoids the question entirely. Turritopsis dohrani, a small jellyfish, can revert to its juvenile form and begin again. The strongest. The expected answer is the elephant, and by raw force alone, that answer is completely defensible. An elephant's trunk can lift 300 kilograms. The animal itself can push over a mature tree without noticeable effort. That trunk contains roughly 40,000 muscles and no bone at all, giving it strength and precision at the same time. It can lift an entire tree trunk and then pick up a single peanut using exactly the same underlying mechanism. Gorillas are often mentioned in this conversation too, capable of lifting several times their own body weight under controlled conditions. But strength relative to size follows the same rule as speed and jumping, and it produces the same uncomfortable answer. The strongest animal on Earth, measured proportionally, is a dung beetle, specifically Ornithophagus taurus, roughly 1 centimeter in length. It can pull 1,141 times its own body weight. For a human, that is 90 tons. The strength is driven by competition. Males fight in underground tunnels for access to females, and the stronger animal simply wins. There is no room to maneuver in a tunnel, so the contest reduces to pure force, applied directly until one beetle gives way. Rhinoceros beetles manage around 850 times their weight, lifting objects a human could not shift by hand. But raw pulling strength is not the only measure of it. For sheer destructive power, nothing in the ocean matches the mantis shrimp. Its club-shaped limb accelerates as fast as a .22 caliber bullet, striking with 1,500 newtons of force. The strike is so fast, it boils the water in front of it, creating a collapsing vapor bubble that delivers a second impact. That collapse briefly produces temperatures approaching the surface of the sun, along with a flash of light inside the animal's own tank. And for bite force, the saltwater crocodile leads everything measured, 16,460 newtons in a single closing jaw. The strangest. Here, the expected answer is the platypus, and for once the expected answer has genuinely earned its reputation. It is a mammal that lays eggs, carries a duck-like bill, produces venom from a spur, and possesses no stomach whatsoever. When the first specimen reached London in 1799, scientists assumed it was a hoax stitched together from separate animals. Its bill detects the faint electrical fields generated by the muscle movements of prey. It hunts with its eyes and ears sealed shut. Under ultraviolet light, its fur glows blue-green. Nobody has yet established why or whether it serves any purpose at all. So the platypus is strange, undeniably. But strangeness, like every other record tonight, has levels that most people never hear about. The tardigrade is 0.5 millimeter long, lives in moss and sediment almost everywhere on Earth, and is functionally indestructible. It survives temperatures from -272 degrees Celsius up to more than 150 degrees. It survives pressures 6 times greater than the deepest ocean trench, and radiation doses hundreds of times lethal to a human. In 2007, tardigrades were exposed to the vacuum of space for 10 days. Many of them survived and later reproduced. The mechanism is called cryptobiosis. It expels almost all water from its body, replaces it with a protective sugar, and halts. In that state, its metabolism drops to near zero. It is not quite alive, not quite dead, and it can wait for decades. The axolotl never grows up. It reaches adulthood, reproduces, and keeps its larval gills and body plan for its entire life. It regrows amputated limbs perfectly, including bone, muscle, and nerve. It also regenerates spinal cord, heart tissue, and parts of its brain. It does this repeatedly, without scarring, and researchers are still working to understand exactly how the whole process is controlled. The pistol shrimp snaps one oversized claw shut so quickly that it creates a cavitation bubble in the water beside it. The bubble collapses at over 4,000 degrees, producing a shockwave that stuns prey and one of the loudest sounds in the ocean. Colonies of them are loud enough to interfere with submarine sonar. During wartime, navies learn to hide inside that noise deliberately. And the naked mole rat breaks nearly every mammal rule. It is effectively cold-blooded and lives in a colony ruled by a single queen. It survives 18 minutes without oxygen, feels almost no pain from acid or heat, and is remarkably resistant to cancer. So there it is, 10 categories, And in almost every single one, the famous answer turned out to be the wrong one. The cheetah lost to a falcon. The elephant lost to a beetle. The tortoise lost to a shark swimming under Arctic ice. The pattern is consistent. Records belong overwhelmingly to the small, the obscure, and the animals nobody ever puts on a poster. Partly that is physics. Small bodies handle force and acceleration in ways that large bodies simply cannot survive at all. And partly it is attention. We remember the animals we were shown as children, and the record books were written elsewhere. Every figure tonight came from measurement. Tagged whales, high-speed cameras, eye lens proteins, satellite trackers. Somebody went and checked. If any of these surprised you, tell us which one in the comments. And subscribe, because there is far more below the surface.